Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump, the great hero of the report from Tiger Mountain, we're strong supporters here of the report, has been indicted for a second time. That's the topic of tonight's report from Tiger Mountain. Stick around and listen. Yes, the great people's prince, Donald Trump over in America, has been indicted a second time. You know, the first one was by Fat Alvin, obviously in New York, which is a state matter in relation to the Stormy Daniels nonsense. And this one is in relation to the files that Donald Trump took with him when he left the White House. Obviously, a president, to some extent, has a certain right to declassify documents. Obviously, he's the president. He can do what he likes. He declassified documents and took them with him. Every president has done this. Every president. They can arrest every president under this charge, basically. Even Joe Biden, some vice presidents have done it, and they found a whole pile of documents in the carport behind his Corvette of Joe Biden. So obviously, you know, this is yet another complete nonsense going on in America. And look, it just goes to show, you know, the extent to which the globalist cabal hates Donald Trump, which tells you, you know, he's obviously the guy to vote for in 2024. You know, obviously there is you know, the primaries are now running. You've got a few, they're wheeling out a few of the old favourites, you know, to run up against Trump. Obviously Ron DeSantis is the major competition, and is the only person who I think could possibly take the nomination from Trump, though I can't see it. Obviously my idea of a great ticket is probably Trump DeSantis. I think DeSantis will make a great vice president. I think it'll be a good balancing act between the two. So obviously that's the ticket I'm hoping for. And obviously there's Chris Christie and Mike Pence has even given it a go. And they've got this funny video of him running around on that. I mean, Pence does seem rather fit for his age, you know, unlike obviously Joe Biden and to some extent Donald Trump, who seems to, I mean, I think Donald Trump is pretty fit, but seems to like maybe the Macca's a little bit too much just quietly. But, you know, so that's what's going on at the moment. I think this charge, I mean, obviously it's the first time in American history that this has happened to a former US president. This goes to show that, you know, Donald Trump really was a kind of wild card, and it was somebody who was not from the deep state. And, you know, I mean, people like Andrew Tate and Russell Brand and even Jordan Peterson have commented that, you know, it was his opposition to the war, and also Tucker Carlson on his new show. It was, you know, Donald Trump's opposition to the globalist wars since September 11, and obviously the Ukraine war, you know, where he's not instantly taking the side of the corrupt Zelensky regime, you know, goes to show, I think that's the cardinal sin that Donald Trump is committing, because everybody in Washington makes so much money from these wars, and all the various corrupt agencies and lobbyists, they make so much money from these trillion-dollar wars that, you know, this is, I think, where the huge animus comes against Trump, because he wanted to extract America from all these globalist wars and also make the various countries in the various regions pay for their own self-defense and not have America fit the bill, which all makes common sense, which all is, you know, a strong nationalist economic position. Obviously, someone like Steve Bannon, you know, advised Trump to do this, and I think Trump thought of it himself as well. So, you know, this is, I think, the battleground. My opinion is these indictments won't hold water, that, you know, the election will go ahead next year, and my hope is Donald Trump will win. So, in my opinion, Donald Trump won the last election in 2020, and obviously they rigged that. So will they just do that again? You know, I mean, I think they'll try, but they won't have a pandemic around to make it a lot easier in relation to things like mail-in votes. So maybe they won't get away with it this time. And I don't know, maybe, you know, with the Republican-controlled Congress, they will be able to stop the rigging to some extent. So we keep our fingers crossed for an honest election in 2024. I don't think this indictment from Donald Trump, the second indictment, will hold, nor will the one in New York from Fat Alvin. So that's my opinions here at the report from Tiger Mountain. I think it's all bullshit and it's election interference. And, you know, the last Joe to, you know, arrest his opponents in political elections was Joe Stalin. So Joe Biden is within esteemed company, ladies and gentlemen, and it goes to show just how the far left is heading straight towards communism. And that's all I've got to say on the report from Tiger Mountain this week. Cheers.